Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I want to talk more about the TRICKSTAR support. I think it's really cool. I think it's really hype. I already predicted them to get support this year, so that's an awesome win for me. I thought they were like the one archetype guaranteed to end up in the duels pack, and they did. They're the first archetype revealed, which is very hype. But I want to talk more about it because I felt like the overall essence of the community was pretty disappointing. A lot of people were like disappointing, like the report doesn't mix right. It's not even that good. My mindset after thinking about it specifically for at least a day or two, and even before, like I was already thinking of before, is that Trickstar is one of those weird decks where I don't think they need the most insane support. We'll come back to that idea, but that's where I want to start. So let's run through the gist of this. We get the new support. It's pretty good. I'm going to brief outlines of the new cards. A new main deck extender that also searches you a fusion card. The deck's never really been about fusion summoning, but they do get a decent new fusion. This card on fusion summon searches any Trickstar card, which is pretty good. Has some cool bonus effects, but that's the main gist. You get a new Link 1. This card, honestly, I think the best use of this card is just that it's going to make the deck able to make SP Little Knight super freely with the bonus effect, because now they just have a Link 1 that they can always make to then feed into SP's bonus effect, which is cool. The Link 2 is really the huge winner. It searches an interruptive trap card or a going second spell. It can reborn a Trickstar monster, and it just pops a card on your opponent's turn or your turn. So pretty insane card. This is definitely the big winner for sure. You get a new trap that allows you to link or fusion summon on the opponent's turn. Just okay, right? It feels like we don't have the best targets to pay off of this. And then a new trap. This is the blue main trap that you can search for interruption. It's basically like a pop of a special summoned monster. Nothing crazy, but still fine. Overall. So the support didn't wow me in terms of just like the overall power of the cards, but like I said at the beginning, I just never thought that was that necessary for the deck. I think there were a couple key things that Trickstars have always had at their disposal that kind of sets them apart from most decks. Because we look at decks and we're like, how good is the engine? How good is their end board? That's not really how you need to analyze Trickstar, because Trickstar makes free wins by default. By working the way they work, you get free wins. There's 4 ways that you just get free wins just because you're playing Trickstar. The first thing, hold on, let me get to this other slide. That's pretty important here for this part. The first one, Droll and Lockbird combined with Trickstar Reincarnation. You can just win the duel outright. Like, literally the game's over. Your opponent never got to play because you went Reincarnation, rip the hand, then you Droll, second Reincarnation, rip the hand again, or if you only had one and your opponent is kind of blind playing into you, which usually they wouldn't be, but maybe they don't know that much about Trickstar, because I found that even a deck that's only like a year old in terms of how long ago it was competitive, it seems like every single duelist I play at locals literally forgot what the deck did, has no idea. So this deck being 5 years old now, like everybody's definitely forgotten. So you'll get free wins out of that. Boom, done. The second one is Burn. This is a Burn deck. This is one of those decks where it really stockpiles, and if you play the right kind of deck, or in their case, the wrong kind of deck, they start playing into your Lycorises or whatever monster you left on field that burns. You have the field spell up like every turn, so they're taking an extra 200 damage every time they take damage, and that stacks up, and as long as you're on top of the math, they look down, they go, how many more times can I special summon, or how many times can I search again? And you go, you have one more search, and then you lose. You're burned to death. And even in those cases, even if they don't do it anymore, all it takes is like searching Lilybell, summon Lilybell, attack direct game. And then you already have just like free, easy baby win conditions like that. The third one is time in general, just to add on to the burn. Like, this is a separate case, but winning outright by burning your opponent out. Or the fact that you're on Trickstar means, like, how do you lose in going into time? Even going second, you have just monsters you summon that if you just summon them, they say burn your opponent. So even going second, but obviously going first, you just summon Lycris, you're like, you search a card, you lose. Summon Leaf Candine up, you activate a spell or trap, you lose. And you just say, come and get it. It's very hard to lose in time with Trickstar, and it's very daunting to play against them when you know time is coming up. And that's why you can play this deck as a slower, grindier deck, because like you already have, you have that advantage. You know you're going to have the edge if it gets close to time. So not that you play slow on purpose, but you can build the deck in a way where it wants to kind of gum down the board state, do these back and forth duels that last, 6, 8 turns and not be afraid that it's going to be a drawback at the end of the day. And the last one is Reincarnation. Where did I have Reincarnation here? Here it is. So I already talked about Droll Reincarnation, but the other one is just Reincarnation. 1, 2, and God, if you have 3, for sure. We talk about this is a big thing with Runic. Sometimes with Runic, they get free wins because they resolve some of those Runic second effects, and you just ripped like 7 cards off your opponent's deck, right? You resolve 2 Reincarnations. That's 10 cards out of your opponent's deck usually. I mean, it depends on how many hand traps they fired on you, all that stuff. They had a chainable quick play. You're ripping usually 4-ish cards, I would say, in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! If you went first and set up Reincarnations. But that's 8 cards out of the deck. And if you think about like modern decks, let's say for example, here's a really good example. Fire King Snake Eye. 1 Ponix. 1 Fire King Island. 1 Garunix. 1 Flamberge Dragon. If you hit any one of those, you already severely hurt like what they're able to do with the. You already hurt the main combo. But if you hit something like Ponix, well, now the Snake Eye engine doesn't even connect to the Fire King engine anymore. If you hit something like Flamberge, that's a huge piece of them being able to play through interaction. And so it really, really can matter. If you hit 1, 2, even 3 of those, like they're in huge trouble because their engine now is just significantly worse than it was going to be otherwise. So that's just a win condition you can get on your own, and that's one of those reasons that even though the deck's power overall is weaker than most engines in the game, these are all win conditions that just give you an edge. You're going to get free wins. You're going to use Reincarnation once or twice, and even though your hand wasn't that good, you lowered your opponent's ceiling significantly, so now they don't even have the means. Even if they had a good hand, now they don't even have the engine pieces to get them where they want to go. So now they can't play through all the interactions you have. And you just get free wins out of Trickstar. So it never needed to get the best cards out of this support, is my main point at the end of the day. They just needed enough to be competent. They need to get to interruption at least. And now, just making the Link 2 is 2 interruptions. And I think that maybe alone could be enough. Like, even if none of the other cards came out, at least that Link 2 and the trap card you get off of it may actually already be enough. Now, I'll take the other cards. They'll probably see play in this list. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. And I think Trickstars can actually be not in a great... Like, listen, at the end of the day, you still need a good enough engine to be a top-level deck. But I think as a rogue deck, where, like, nobody's going to be expecting you all the time, but when you run into them, it's one of those decks where it's very hard to, like, put enough stuff into your side deck, into your main deck, whatever, to be like, oh, I'm really worried about Trickstar. Like, when you run into them, they're going to be rogue enough where you can't prepare too hard for them. And when you do, you can be in trouble, especially if you lose the die roll. You know you're at least going second twice. And good luck. You know what I mean? Good luck with the free win conditions, like not drowning you out of the game without you even getting a chance to play in the first place. So, yeah, it's brutal, but that's where we're at. Listen, and then looking further into like the support that we already got, it is a little bit weird with the fusion stuff. Like, I get it. I have no idea where they're going to go with this final card. I don't know if it's going to be another main deck monster. It could. I don't think the deck necessarily needs it. I think if there's any one thing, I guess I might just say, give us a legit powerful fusion boss monster. Because then it gives us the chance to, off of this girl, search the already existing fusion spell. That will allow us to fuse into our girl Dramatis. Dramatis then can search us the trap card. Then we can defusion. Then we can link that into the Link 2. That goes to grave, whatever. The Link 2 can reborn a monster, and it searches you the other trap. And then this can let you quick fuse into a bigger, actual good end board piece boss monster. And maybe that card actually has a decent interruption. The one thing I don't love is that the only interruption the deck has still right now is just popping a card, which is not the worst interruption, but if it's the only type of interruption you set up, it's not ideal. So I'd love to see some sort of negate, even if it's just a one-time negate, just it doesn't destroy, like the weakest form of negation you can have. I'll take it. I'll take it just for the versatility in types of interruptions you can have. But that would be cool, and I'd love it for the materials to not need to be crazy for the fusion. Maybe it'd be like a Trickstar monster originally summoned from the extra deck plus one more Trickstar monster. whatever. And so since you're banishing from grave, you can just banish your Dramatis plus, you know, whatever other Trickstar monster you have in grave. And then, boom, that gets you the 2 pops that you're getting from Noble Angel plus the new M-board monster, and you can do that with 1 card. So I think that'd be nice to just get... I agree that I'd like to see just one little notch stronger in terms of your overall end board if you resolve your stuff. But at the end of the day, I think this support may already be good enough to at least make Trickstar Rogue. And that's always the goal in my mind. Because you guys know me, I only play Rogue. So when something gets better than Rogue, I'm kind of like, I don't know. No mirrors for me. No mirrors for me. So it's weird. But that's where I'm at. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this down below. I just wanted to go a little bit more in depth on where exactly I stand with it. Obviously, 1 card can change the world. Don't forget about the Fire King structure deck itself. Everything got revealed. We thought this was gonna be at most an okay Rogue deck, and then Ponix got revealed, and we went, oh, best deck in the game, cool, because without Ponix, it doesn't really connect to the Snake Eye engine, or at least the Snake Eye engine doesn't connect to Fire King, and it's just like honestly the best engine card in the deck anyway. So very, very crucial card, probably the best card from the structure deck overall, and it was the last card revealed. So I think there's a good chance they saved the best for last here. I don't know what it would be. I don't know how exactly where it will slot into, but I think there's a world where it pulls some of this stuff together. Because there's this fusion stuff that's weird, but there's no great payoff for the fusion stuff. Like, are we really just playing a fusion package just to summon this, to search a card? And then we search a trap that summons an extract monster on the opponent's turn, but we don't even have an extract monster that's good to summon on the opponent's turn? Like, it feels like there's something missing here. A lot of people noted that in the comments, and it doesn't make sense. I think that's because this final card will probably tie some of this together. So, bottom line, I think it's better than people are giving it credit for. I think this deck's going to get free wins already, so you don't even... Like, you're already going to get 15% of your games you might just win for free. That's 15%. That means you only need to win 35 out of the other 80% just to break even. And then if you actually go 50-50, then you're a 55% win rate. Oh, wait. Actually higher than that, like 57% win rate. And like you're in good position. Like like that's a pretty good win rate, 57-58%. That can get you pretty far. That's actually a pretty high win percentage for stuff like on DB. So like that's my idea. Plus the deck has a million flex spots in the deck, so you can play a ton of space of just non-engine. That's another bonus. I think they actually have some bright lights, and this last card could make it even brighter. So I think it's solid. I want to know your guys' thoughts down below, though. Sorry. Get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. Go a little more in depth with me here. I'm totally down to have a conversation on this. But I'm out of here for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more discussions like this down the line. For sure. When we have that final card, I'm definitely going to get into doing some theory for this deck. Because I definitely think it has like some rogue legs going forward. But I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.